Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to another Jets Media live stream. And today is Victory Monday, and it feels so good. We got the boys in the house. We got Jack and Ali and special guest Green Bean on for today's stream. We're going to be talking about everything Jets Titans, what we saw from Robert Saleh's first victory, Zach Wilson, the Jets defense looking like absolute dogs out there. There's so much to get into this, guys. So I'm really excited. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful Victory Monday that Jets fans have been waiting so long to finally be happy about a victory. So first and foremost, let's go around the table. And Jack, how you feeling today?
Feeling absolutely fantastic, man. I'm very honored to be here with you guys talking about a victory. So what a nice change of pace, and it feels very good.
It feels very good indeed. How about you, Green Bean? How you feeling on this beautiful Victory Monday?
Oh, I'm with it, man. I think, dude, it's been so long since we've been able to actually enjoy anything as far as the season goes. So I'm allowing myself to actually absorb this and be happy for more than 30 seconds. I love it, man. I'm in a good mood.
Oh yeah. I've been soaking in this win all day, all last night. Like, you guys saw the videos of me and Jack going crazy, and people were clowning us like, yo, you guys make it seem like you won the Super Bowl. We did win the Super Bowl. We won a game. You know what it's like, guys, non-Jets fans, what we've been through. Ali, how you feeling about this day, man? How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I missed last week's show. I actually missed last week's game because I got COVID, so I didn't watch the game at all. And I was struggling with that. But like 2 weeks later, now we have a win on the board. That's pretty sick, and we have a chance of going 2-3 into the bye. I mean, let's go. Let's go.
Let's go is right, guys. So what happened? We go to verse the Tennessee Titans at MetLife Stadium. Nobody's picking the Jets to win this game. We know that the Titans are banged up with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, but I don't care. The Jets are banged up with a lot of injuries that you guys know that I don't need to bring up. So this was an upset victory for the New York Jets. I knew going into the season that I had optimistic thoughts that the Jets are going to get one or two upset victories. And I said to myself, the only way the Jets do get an upset victory is them dominating the line of scrimmage, especially on that defensive side of the ball. And that's exactly what we did in this game, which evidently won us the ball game. We had 7 sacks, I think 19 total pressures, 14 total quarterback hits, all over the place. It looked like the sack exchange all over again. And that's what happens when you have a front seven that can absolutely get to the quarterback at that high rate. And not to mention, on the flip side of things, we protected Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was sacked once. So that's the formula to winning football games, guys. On defense, you sack the quarterback 7 times. On offense, you only give up 1 sack. That is how you win football games. So, Jack, what was your thoughts overall about the game? And then we're going to go deep into each individual player, each individual, phase of the ball. So what was your overall thoughts and reaction to yesterday's victory?
Just so amazing to see this young team with a first-year head coach, rookie quarterback, first-time offensive coordinator, win this game. That was an absolute hell game, man. I mean, this game all shaved years off of our lives, like 100%. 4 quarters and then an entire 10-minute overtime period is what it took for us to win this game, and we stuck with it the entire way. I remember Richie reading a Titans fan comment on one of Jets Media's YouTube videos that was posted yesterday. I believe it was the little compilation of live reactions that me and Richie had yesterday. And he was saying, congratulations to you guys. Clearly you deserved it from the start. And I genuinely feel that way, man. I feel like I don't give a shit about who was injured. As you said already, Rich, we have plenty of very significant injuries of our own, and it feels like we've been like the most injury-ridden team in football for the last few years. So I don't give a shit about, who's injured for the Titans when they still have Derrick Henry get a touchdown and 157 yards on the ground. Like, clearly through 4 quarters and an overtime period, we were just the better team yesterday, and that's why we won. So I could not be any more stoked about it. And I'll just give it to Green Bean so we can just keep this train rolling.
Green Bean, how you feeling
Yeah,
today
dude.
after the win?
Well, look, we've been kind of getting to know each other for a couple of years now. Us, Ryan, Matt, and some others. We have yet to be able to do this. This is the first time. Even
so
last year, even last year when we ended up winning a couple, it was like, no, I don't want to win these games. So this is the first time. So yeah, man, just like Jack said, dude, I don't want to hear this crap about AJ Brown and Julio Jones. Of course they missed them. But guess what? We missed 7 starters yesterday. And that's not even to get into all the rotational guys that we have lost. It goes all the way down to our punter, man. So I don't want to hear that either. You play the 53 that they bring to the stadium, and that's the way it goes. And I didn't hear anybody for the last 3 games talking about, oh yeah, but the Jets don't have X, Y, or Z. We didn't hear that for a second. So we went out there, man, with our rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator, rookie quarterback, rookie left guard, and on and on and on. Our rookie defensive backfield, and we played hard. It took a minute. Corey Davis had that drop and he fell on his face. I thought it was going to be more of the same. It really looked like that. But it shows a lot of resolve. You could see the confidence building in Zach Wilson, culminating with that sending Corey Davis to the end zone. That's a confident quarterback. And it goes back to what you said, Richie. We protected him for once. So the offensive line, while not perfect, they're starting to gel a little bit. And once that starts to happen, if the offensive line gels and our receivers catch the passes, dude, we have a whole different season ahead of us. And I couldn't be more psyched.
It's just a good day
baby.
to be a Jets fan, man.
It is.
Such a good day. And that's so crazy, Green Bean, that you bring up the fact that we've been getting to know each other. We finally met in person for the first time at the home opener, which was awesome. And we never got to experience this. This is my first time my first year as on Jets media was Adam Gase's first season. So I experienced a win. That Dallas Cowboys win was like the first one where I got to make a video and I was happy. And ironically enough, I couldn't even watch that game because I was busy, ironically enough. But it feels good that we can be talking about a victory that matters and it's so important about the future of this team. And some people might say, dude, it's just one win. Why do you care? You don't understand what this means to the Jets fans and what it means to the Jets team. Not only fans, but the team and the players and the coaching staff. This was a must win. You know how much of a big difference 0-4 and 1-3 is? Now they're going to London with high spirits. They have confidence in Zach. All that stigma about the offense went out the door right now. Now they have a lot of confidence. There's so much that they can build off of from this. And yes, it was not a perfect day on offense, but they have a lot of things to work on and look at back on the film. But it's a lot better when you can learn from your mistakes from a win rather than a loss. So, Ali, what was your thoughts about this game overall before we get into specifics?
Well, for the first time, I saw a team out there for the New York Jets, like a full team, everyone doing their job. And that's how you're going to win football games, especially of how young you are. We're the youngest football team in the NFL. And you went out there and pretty much proved the doubters that you're going to go win this football game at home. You're at your home stadium. Titans are struggling, but you are also struggling as well. But you wanted to come out and win the football game. These young guys are hungry. All these cornerbacks are hungry. These wide receiver, this quarterback has fight in him. He has resilience, something that I didn't see in Sam Darnold, all these guys. Zach Wilson has the mindset of getting there and finishing the ball game. He wants to keep fighting, and that's what this team showed. And that's something that everyone should be happy about if you're in New York. I don't care what the record is right now, but that win was huge, and that's a confidence builder for the rest of the season. It's a long season, man. And there's a lot of games that you can do another upset. If you guys start clicking on offense, you don't know what can happen. At the end of the day, the season could end up into the playoff. Who knows? We don't know that. It's just the team is so unexpected. It's so young. We don't know what to expect from this football team. And yesterday we saw a little glimpse of what the future holds for the New York Jets, especially on defense. Defense playing out of their minds. Obviously the 7 sacks and Bryce Hall locking everyone up. These cornerbacks were doubted the entire offseason. Bringing Richard Sherman, who pretty much got creamed last night on Sunday Night Football. And why would we do that? I mean, these cornerbacks are playing out of their minds. I know these are not the best wide receivers out there, but they're NFL wide receivers, and they're learning and getting better. And the thing with what we saw yesterday is a progress from a football team. This is going to help rejuvenate this entire organization. This one win will do that. And if you can somehow go to London and get a win tomorrow, next week, you don't know what can happen with this football team. So everyone should be very excited about this win. I am ecstatic about. I couldn't I was in my room watching the game and I was screaming my head off because, for the first time I actually was excited for a football game because we were in it for the full 4 quarters and an extra time period. They stayed focused. You have a rookie quarterback out there and he's throwing play on third down. He had so many third down conversions. He looked poised. And there's a lot of hope now, just from that one game. You could say that he might be the best quarterback. That probably might be the best performance by a rookie quarterback this year. That just one performance, just his poise, his decision making, doing whatever, keeping the game, and just the entertainment of the football game kept us, locked in and got other people watching the New York Jets yesterday. So, hats off to Robert Saleh and all this coaching staff getting them ready to go. And then, hopefully there's more wins to come.
Yeah, Saleh deserves a lot of credit. Mike LaFleur deserves credit because he, if the offense looks good, that's a stint of the coaching staff, and he was under the fire for the first 3 games, rightfully so. We scored 20 points in 3 games, and then yesterday we scored more points in 1 game than we did in the first 3 games with 27. So that's just unbelievable. So before we get into our thoughts of Zach Wilson, I just want to show you guys a clip. Maybe some of you guys didn't see of Jack and myself's reactions to these plays and us winning because it is priceless. Cover your ears if you don't like cursing. I don't usually curse on my channel, but it came out. Drop back. Zach rolls to his right. Be smart. He chucks it downfield. Oh my God! What a fucking throw! What a throw! Keelan Cole! Shit. No flags! Oh my God! Oh my God! That's the Zach Wilson. That's why we drafted him number 2. That's exactly what I wanted to see. That was a nuke on the run. That was insane. Holy shit! It's happening. It's finally. It's clicking. Play action. Oh my God, he's unloading it. Do I want to throw up? Oh! My fucking God! What did I just witness? What did I just... We're back! We're fucking back, boys! Run it up in the chat! Are you kidding me? That's Zach fucking Wilson! So as you can see, I was clamoring that the Jets are back. In the moment, going absolutely crazy. That was a little premature. Definitely shouldn't have said we're back, and I got a lot of crap for that. But still, what I meant by the Jets are back, I meant that we're back being competitive and looking like an actual damn football team. That's all I meant by that. And you guys saw that. The reaction was probably the same in every single Jets living room across the entire world. I had to put my dog down. She's on my lap. Sorry. Hold on one second. But yeah, guys. So starting off with Zach Wilson, I had to show you guys that clip. Jack, do you want to give us your assessment of what you saw from the rookie? He definitely had his best performance of his rookie season. He finished with 297 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And in the second half was literally insane from Zach. So what are your biggest takeaways from Zach Wilson's performance yesterday?
Just the fact that he's a fighter. He doesn't, lose confidence in himself or his abilities. And I think that, as a 21-year-old rookie quarterback, I think that he proved yesterday that he has what it takes to overcome adversity and be the leader of this team. I mean, and, let's just talk about the physical skills on the field. I mean, the fact of the matter is that Zach Wilson has top tier arm talent in the NFL, not top tier arm talent like, coming out of college or whatever. Now that he's an NFL quarterback, we saw on the field yesterday that he has top tier arm talent within those 32 starting quarterbacks. He is by far in the upper half as far as just pure arm talent goes. 60 yards in the air on the run with a flick of the wrist, drops it in the breadbasket for Keelan Cole, for Corey Davis. And I think, the most underrated throw of the day, I remember you tweeting this, Rich, and I totally agree with you, was another huge grab by Keelan Cole. That nice toe drag on the sideline. That was the best ball that was thrown all day, and it belonged to Zach Wilson.
And if you talk about the situation, that was an overtime that marched on the field as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So he just showed everything that we want to see out of our quarterback yesterday. Obviously, he had the interception, but, once again, that's kind of a toss-up. Who are we going to blame it on? Are we going to blame it on Zach? Are we going to blame it on Corey Davis? I don't know. Corey obviously slipped and fell. Could the ball have been placed a little bit better so that it wasn't just a straight-up interception? Who knows? But regardless, I think that Zach Wilson definitely showed us everything we needed to see yesterday. He, not that my confidence was going away at all, because I like to think that I'm a realist when it comes to being a Jets fan. And I wasn't going to write off this quarterback after 3 games. And yesterday he had the game that we've all been waiting to see, and we came out with the W. We took it all the way to the end, and he got the game ball because of it. So I think he totally deserves it. I really think the sky's the limit for this kid, man. I think the offensive line is improving every week, it seems like. So, I think that, hopefully we're just going to keep trending up at this point. We got a nice, not an easy game, because there's no easy games, of course, when you're the New York Jets or when you're any team for that matter, because the Tennessee Titans certainly thought this was going to be an easy game. Haha. But we got a pretty, sketchy to say the least opponent next week in the Atlanta Falcons. So certainly a winnable game. So let's go into the week 6 bye 2-3 on a high. Zach Wilson's due for another big game next week. I'm ready for it, man. I absolutely love what I saw from Zach yesterday. He showed all the poise, all the moxie, all the gusto, whatever you want to call it, man. He's got the goods, and you can't write off a rookie quarterback after 3 sketchy games. And you can't, claim that he's the Messiah after 1 good game, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying that I think it's trending in the right direction, and I think that the sky's the limit for this kid as far as the talent goes. We all saw the throws he was making yesterday. Not every quarterback in the NFL can make those throws, so sky's the limit for Zach Wilson. I think that if we just see little improvements every week, obviously no one's expecting a playoff run this year anyway, so I think we're certainly looking good for where we're at schedule-wise. Atlanta, bye week, everybody rests up. I'm feeling good. Feeling good about Zach Wilson.
Yeah, man. Zach Wilson had finally an electrical performance where you can see why he was drafted number 2. So, Green Bean, what was your thoughts about the rookie? What are your biggest takeaways? And what are you most impressed from Zach Wilson in yesterday's performance?
Yeah, I think the best thing for me overall, and particularly for Zach Wilson, but it applies to like the coaches and everybody else, is that they needed this. This came at the perfect time. It was a hard-fought game. They fought through adversity. They fought through another team coming back. When they did get ahead, they squashed that stat that they didn't have a lead all season. All those negative things they were able to put a lot of that stuff behind them just by winning. Zach Wilson threw for 297 yards, which is 300 yards where I come from. That's 300. I don't care what anybody says. And yeah, man, it's like Jack was just saying, I never for 1 second, not 1 second, did I think Zach Wilson isn't still the Zach Wilson that we drafted because of the first 3 games. And the thing that I really like about this, in particular with Corey Davis, I mean, Corey Davis dropped enough passes and kind of betrayed Zach Wilson. Like, look, at least 2 of those interceptions are directly because of Corey Davis dropping the ball. Zach Wilson could have lost confidence in him, but he didn't. And he just kept going. He believes in the guys around him, never threw his offensive line under the bus. And you can see it, man. It's just going to take time. Like the arm strength, the arm talent, the accuracy, it's all there. But he's still a rookie. He's still going to make ugly passes. Looking in overtime, we could have put the game to bed a couple times. He threw it at the tight end's feet. That's all normal stuff. But overall, we saw a guy who took over the game and had confidence in receivers that really have not been doing right by him. For the most part, he had confidence in them. and toss that ball down the field to Keelan Cole a couple times, to Crowder, to Corey Davis. And I think he absolutely deserves every bit of praise that anybody gives him right now, because we were sure dumping on him when he was having trouble. And this is just the beginning. Like you said, Richie, we're back. It doesn't mean we're going to the Super Bowl. It doesn't mean Zach's winning Rookie of the Year. It just means, hey, it's starting to come together, and we just might have the beginnings of a football team here. And that's all we really want. And I couldn't be happier, man.
That's all I ever wanted, was just a team where I can look at and say, I'm proud, instead of like running away into the hole and like getting, crapped on by every single non-Jets fans around the world. Love it. I love this feeling. Wow, it feels good. Ali, how you feeling about Zach Wilson yesterday, man? What was your biggest takeaways?
Well, obviously, we're all going to talk about his throws, his poise in the pocket, stuff like that. But the one thing I feel like he gained from this game is leadership. He gained the respect of that locker room. He gained the respect of his teammates yesterday. Just his poise on and off the field. Even on the interviews, he's kicking himself that he could have ended the game earlier in the fourth quarter. He's saying that it's going to be growing pains for me, and he's being honest. The way he answers the media questions, the way he talks about his teammates, the way the teammates talk about him. CJ Mosley called him a fighter yesterday. To see those veteran guys compliment your quarterback, they know they trust Zach Wilson. They trust the guy who's in charge, and he showed they trusted him, and he delivered yesterday. The Jets were winning the game and then losing the game. Titans were coming back, but he showed resilience every play he was out there. He tried to make something out of nothing. He was making tough throws. He was trusting his receivers. He was, trusting his offensive line to protect him, they did a phenomenal job yesterday. It's awesome to see what Zach Wilson has done since week 1 to week 4 now. The progress we've seen is what this entire season was all about, is the Zach Wilson progression. And today, finally, the last 2 weeks, he kind of took a step back in our eyes. But, even the interception yesterday, if Corey Davis didn't fall down, that could have been a big game. We don't know that. It could have been a huge game, and he was looking at his receiver. Corey Davis was supposed to be in that spot, but he just fell down. And as a quarterback, you're supposed to hit him on the dot, and just Corey Davis couldn't finish his responsibility there. So, he kept feeding him. He got it going, and obviously Corey Davis had a revenge game of a lifetime yesterday. So, just to see the progression of Zach Wilson is the most important thing about the season, and the most important thing about this game. It's just his poise, his leadership on the field, commanding that offense, doing what he needs to do to win the football game, and just fighting throughout the 4 quarters and the extra, keeping that team on. It's like keeping them up, keeping them high spirits, and winning that football game. And at the end of the game, you saw that one video of him celebrating. That felt great for a rookie quarterback, your rookie head coach getting their first win. It's awesome. It's awesome to see what his progressions have been. I think he'll keep getting better and better. And this is a good step in the right direction for Zach Wilson.
Great step in the right direction for Zach Wilson. Very well said, Ali. And I'm very excited to talk about this because I've waited so long to have a quarterback that can make plays like this. And we knew we were getting Zach Wilson out of BYU. We saw his tape at BYU. We saw the pro day. We were all hyped up about the ability to just be that backyard style football player. And when we see the plays week 1 against the Panthers, that one throw to Elijah Moore, that was insane. Elijah Moore couldn't catch it. Even on the run, he had a nice throw to Corey Davis, a little over the heads. It's like there was little glimpse of the flashiness of explosive play that we just left on the table, whether it was Zach just missing it or the receivers not catching it. And it finally came together. Like what Zach Wilson did yesterday, he completely took over the game. Like offensively speaking, like the defense had a huge part of winning this game. And I'm not taking anything away from that. But without Zach Wilson doing what he did, we would have lost this game. And it's that simple. He elevated this entire offense, and it's so refreshing to have a rookie quarterback at that age being able to do that. Like, I don't think you guys understand that touchdown to Corey Davis, how insane that was. That was the swaggiest touchdown throw I've seen in a Jets uniform. Like, if you see the slow motion of Zach Wilson, perfect angle of just rolling to his right, you see the man pointing downfield. Like, that's a little kid's dream, backyard, like middle school football, where Jack and myself are having a catch at Woodland, our middle school. And I'm like, yo, Jack, just go D. That's literally like a child's dream. He sees Corey Davis going across the field. He sees the safety bite down towards Crowder. He knows if he lets Corey Davis goes up the field, it's a one-on-one opportunity. Corey Davis sees Zach go like this. Corey's like, okay. And Zach just goes, I love how he points once, and then Corey like doesn't bite, and then he gives him another point. He's like, no, like, go. And then Zach just effortlessly flicks the wrist 60 yards. Are you kidding? Like, it didn't even look like he put his all into that at all. Like, if you watch that throw, like, it literally looks like he just like, boom, and it just flew. Like, can you imagine what he can do if he puts his entire hips and legs and body into that and arm? Like, it's just that type of play is what makes Zach Wilson special and the type of talent that we were so excited about coming out of BYU. And it's up to the Jets coaching staff to really make that part of their offense, because obviously it's awesome for those off-scripted plays. He breaks off. That's part of Zach Wilson. He takes pride of that. He says that he prepares every single week, where when the play doesn't go the way it's supposed to, it's my job to extend it and make a lot of things, make that backyard football type of plays. And for Zach Wilson to make that specific play, that just shows you that he's different, man. He's not a normal quarterback. Like, there's not a lot of guys in the NFL that has, first of all, the confidence to be able to point down upfield. That's like Aaron Rodgers-esque. And I'm not saying he's the next Aaron Rodgers or anything. Just that specific play was just so unbelievably awesome as a Jets fan to watch him do that. And then even the play prior to Keelan Cole, same exact situation. He's rolling to his right, and he just flicks it beautifully into the breadbasket. That could have been a touchdown if Keelan Cole stays on his feet and goes into the end zone. But I'd rather Keelan Cole be conservative, catch the ball, because we don't want that to be a drop. And then that beautiful breadbasket touch pass to Keelan Cole on the sideline was insane. And probably another impressive throw that's not getting talked about a lot is when they were in the red zone, he fumbled the snap. Zach Wilson picks it up. He's calm. He's not worried. He knows exactly what's going to happen, and he throws a dime to Jameson Crowder, and it was awesome. If you hear what Zach Wilson had to say about that specific play, he's like, yeah, I audibled at the line of scrimmage. I checked it to the second play, and I think in my mind I got a little excited because I knew this is going to be a big play. Like, he saw the defense, and he checked it to the second play that they called in the huddle, and Zach said in his head before they called the snap, he said in his head, like, oh my God, this is going to be good. And then that kind of made him fumble the snap. He got a little overworked, but he didn't let it get to him. He picked up the ball, and I remember Jack on the stream, he's like, make it a Mahomes play, make it a Mahomes highlight as he throws, like, fading away, and it exactly was just that. Like, there's so many things that Zach Wilson showed yesterday that proves to be why the Jets took the flyer on taking him second overall. And yes, there's a lot of good things, but there are also some things that he needs to work on, and that's definitely something we need to bring up. He had multiple opportunities, like Greenby mentioned, to ice the game. 3rd and 10, late in the fourth quarter. The New York Jets, Mike LaFleur, Robert Saleh, they weren't playing conservative. They weren't saying, like, all right, we'll run the football, we'll take the ball, we'll take the clock down to the 2-minute warning, and we'll let our defense win this game. They gave the ball to Zach Wilson to win them the game. 3rd and 10, like, that's – you got to give the coaching staff credit. They got a lot of confidence in Zach Wilson, and that's awesome to see. It's unfortunate that Zach Wilson did not connect on that route. Corey Davis had a beautiful out route. He had all the separation. It was just off timing, and it was a little high, and it was incomplete. That's something that Zach's going to learn from. And then the low throw to Ryan Griffin, that could have been, ending the game. And then the play when it was 3rd and goal in overtime, 3rd and 1 at the goal line, it was a play design for him to roll out and run into the end zone. If he just threw the ball away, it's 4th and 1 at the 1-yard line. They went for it. So there's still a lot of mistakes that he needs to learn from. But like I said earlier, it's awesome that he can learn from a win instead of learning from a loss. But man, the things that he showed was just so unbelievably different. And I was waiting for that. The first 3 weeks are very frustrating. We're waiting for it to see it. There's a little flashes, but it's not there. It's in garbage time. It's this. But he single-handedly elevated this offense. And the craziest part about it is the run game was not there. It was non-existent. The offensive line did really good in pass protection, but in the run game, they were a little suspect. So for Zach Wilson to elevate this team. And also, he took off late in the third and all the way in the fourth quarter. Like, that's what's great, because he's showing the clutch ability. That play to Keelan Cole, that touch pass in the sideline, that was an overtime that set up that field goal, which won us the game. Like, he shows so much moxie and so much to him that Jets fans have been waiting for. And I'm so proud of Zach to being able to deal with the adversity, hearing all the noise, having 2 touchdowns to 7 interceptions as a New York Jets quarterback in your first 3 starts is not easy. You're going to hear it all over the place from the media, from everybody is going to be down your neck. And he did not rattle. He did not fold. He has confidence in himself, and he gained the trust of the team. And this is such a good sign for Zach Wilson for the rest of the season. I just want to finish off with this note. This does not mean that Zach's going to be having games like this for the rest of the season. He is going to have a couple more, multiple games where he's going to look a little off. He's going to have some more interceptions. He's going to get sacked a lot. Like, that's part of the rookie ups and downs. Like, we can't expect him now to just light it up and just be the front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year. We need to tame our expectations. We understand where he's at right now, and it's a really good sign for not only Zach Wilson, but Mike LaFleur as the play caller and the weapons around him, because the playmakers helped him out, the wide receivers. Shout out to Corey Davis, because he started off the game terribly. He had 2 games of really bad football, and then against his former team, he finished with 4 receptions, 111 yards, and a touchdown. He really showed up for Zach Wilson. So shout out to Corey Davis, because he did not crumble when it mattered most. So that's my thoughts of Zach Wilson. I can talk about this all day long, because he was special yesterday, man. He was absolutely special, and I'm so proud of him and the Jets offense. So now let's get into the Jets defense, because they had just as much of a reason to win this game as Zach Wilson did. So, Jack, do you want to give your overall thoughts? The Jets defense had 7 total sacks. Bryce Hall looked like an absolute stud, looking like a true number 1 cornerback. We have Quincy Williams, the older brother of Quinnen Williams, looking like an absolute monster. Looks like Joe Douglas found another gem in the waiver wire pickup. CJ Mosley is playing out of his damn mind. I mean, there's so many players to talk about. So why don't you just give us your overall thoughts on what Jeff Ulbrich and Robert Saleh done so far with his Jets D?
It's been special so far this year, man. I mean, the defense has just been absolutely fantastic all year. They've been showing up when the offense hasn't for the first 3 weeks. And yesterday was their best game we've seen so far. I mean, the majority of those 11 players, obviously there's, rotational guys in and out of different packages every play, but the majority of those starting 11 players, like 7 or 8 of them, like absolutely balled out yesterday, like had like one of the best games of their careers yesterday. It seemed like everybody on that defense was just absolutely balling out. I don't know what they ate that morning. Maybe they had like a team breakfast or something, and they ate something weird, or something in the water in the facility, because those guys showed up and they were ready to rip people's faces apart. And I mean, we can just, start on the list. I mean, Bryce Hall, can't say enough good things about his play this year. I know Green Bean, I know you're a big Bryce Hall guy down at UVA. What a draft pick by Joe Douglas in the 5th round. Obviously, we know Bryce Hall fell due to an injury that he sustained in his last year of school. But what a draft pick by Joe Douglas he's turning out to be. You can't ask for a better performance out of a corner than what he gave us yesterday. And, he's been doing that all year so far. So Bryce Hall, can't say enough good things about his play this year. And just the defensive backs as a whole, man. I mean, Brandon Echols, although he was he left the game with a concussion, he was balling out yesterday. Michael Carter II, Javelin Guidry, all these guys were playing well. And then, let's get to the linebackers. CJ Mosley is the CJ Mosley we all thought he was going to be. We've seen him for 4 games now. He's been great. It's kind of, I feel like I'm taking it for granted that, I'm seeing CJ out there every week, and he's not hurt. He's not opting out. Not that I should be taking it for granted. It's just like we're not used to it, So the fact that he's out there balling out every week is wonderful. Quincy Williams, man. Quincy Williams was absolutely all over the field yesterday. I believe he finished with 12 total tackles and a sack. And I really can't say enough good things about him either, man. His play, especially for a waiver pickup from the sorry-ass Jacksonville Jaguars, man, that's another wizard move by Joe Douglas right there. Bringing in Quincy Williams, who is just making play after play yesterday. He had probably the most effective one-on-one tackle I've ever seen anybody make against Derrick Henry yesterday. and it was just absolutely his play along with CJ Mosley, absolutely fantastic. And then that brings me to the big fellas up front, man. I mean, the list goes on with these guys. John Franklin Myers, fantastic day yesterday. Sheldon Rankins, very productive day. Bryce Huff, dude. Bryce Huff is who impressed me the most on that defensive line yesterday. Bryce Huff was making Taylor Lewan look like he had torn his ACL like last week, as opposed to last season. You know, Taylor Lewan could not keep up with Bryce Huff yesterday. He was too quick off the edge. He was doing all the nice moves. And that brings me to my next point, is that Quinnen Williams is still, not that he ever wasn't, but he's 100% our best defensive lineman. I mean, I heard Chris Collinsworth saying it last night in the Sunday Night Football game, talking about Vita Vea, how Vita Vea freed somebody else up for a sack. And this is the way Chris Collinsworth put it. Vita Vea eliminated half of an offensive line because he just ate a double team, and that frees somebody else up for the nice stunt to go untouched up the middle. And not that all of them led to sacks, but I noticed that a hefty percentage of our pressures yesterday, especially with Bryce Huff coming off the edge next to Quinnen, came from Quinnen eating a double team, Bryce Huff moving around the edge, getting around Lewan, and getting an easy shot at Tannehill. And like I said, they didn't all eat the sacks, although we did get 7 of them. But, you know, I think Tannehill was pressured or hurried, whatever it is, 19 plus times yesterday. So just an incredible showing from all these guys on the defensive line. I have to mention, who did I forget? I said Quinnen, JFM, Bryce Huff, and
Rankins.
I did say Rankins, right? All right, whatever. I'm done. I have nothing else to say about this defense. I think I hit it all. These guys are balling out, and they honestly made me super proud yesterday because they realized that while this offense has a lot of potential, and they showed it yesterday, they realized that they're the backbone of this football team, and they're going to be what's going to keep us in contention to win games as the season goes down the line. So these guys are all playing with a chip on their shoulder. Can't say enough good things about Jeff Ulbrich either, man. Obviously, we all have high praise for Robert Saleh. This is Jeff Ulbrich's defense. Robert Saleh is our head coach. He's obviously a former defensive coordinator, fantastic defensive mind. Obviously, he has a lot of say into whatever happens with the defense, I'd imagine. But he's our head coach. Jeff Ulbrich, this is Jeff Ulbrich's defense, and I cannot say enough good things about what we've seen from this unit first 4 games. So hats off to Jeff Ulbrich. I think he's done a fantastic job so far as a defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. And I think this defense it's all up from here, man. As long as these guys, I was going to say, as long as these guys stay healthy, obviously I don't want to see anybody else go down. But as of right now, it looks like our defense is next man up, balling out. Whoever's out on the field is playing well. So obviously let's hope for no more injuries, but it really hasn't set us back too much. I mean, from what we see, but all I'm saying is just imagine this pass rush with Carl Lawson on one of those edges, and Vinny Curry rotating in and out. So it can be even more special. So just for where we're at right now, I'm so proud of this defense, and just looking fantastic through 4 games.
This defense looks better than anybody expected throughout the first 4 games of the year. We cannot ask for more dominant football from the Jets defense. We've been playing winning football on that side of the ball all 4 games. It's been the offense, which has been the reason why we were 0-3 going into this game. The offense showed up. We win the football game. Crazy how that works. Shout out to my cousin, Vile Exotics. His name's not Vile Exotics. That's his YouTube channel. Shout out, Chris. Hope you're enjoying your day, bro. Let's go, Jets. And guys, if you guys are in the stream, we got around 180 people. Make sure you smash that like button. We have 57 likes. The goal of the likes is 100. If we can get to 100 likes before we end the stream, that would be great. So please run up that like button if you guys are enjoying this stream. And also make sure you guys subscribe to Jack, Greenbean, and Ali. Their YouTube channels are down below in the description. It would mean a lot if you guys support the Jets community here on Jets YouTube and Jets Media. So, Greenbean, what was your thoughts about Robert Saleh's defense, Jeff Ulbrich's defense, going crazy and making Ryan Tannehill's life misery? And a really fun fact, remember week 1 when the Panthers made Zach Wilson, just pressure. We dominated Ryan Tannehill pressure-wise more than the Panthers dominated Zach Wilson. Pretty insane.
Right. Isn't that amazing? So, look, Jack said a lot of great stuff, man. And I happen to agree with just about every single thing that he said. Something else I want to add. The lion's share of our injuries were on the defense. I mean, you look right now, we are without our 2 starting safeties. We got 1 safety back in Ashton Davis. That was his first time playing since toward the end of last season. So there's a lot going on. But one of the coaches that isn't getting enough really praise is Tony Oden, our defensive backs coach. We literally said to that guy, hey, we're going to give you all first and second year players, rookies and second year players, nobody that's taken before the 4th round, some of them even undrafted free agents, and they're going to be just riddled with injuries. We need you to get them to play at an NFL level. And he's done that. Before the season, everybody was concerned about the defensive backs. We looked everywhere else on the team and we could justify going, no, I feel pretty good about the receivers. I feel pretty good about the offensive line. I feel pretty good about the linebackers. When it came to the defensive backs, particularly the cornerbacks, every single Jets fan went, oh, I don't know, man. That's going to be rough. I mean, we're looking for their progression, and I hope they can develop. But everybody was like, I don't see it. I don't see how this is going to end up being an NFL-level defensive backfield. And look, I'm not saying that they're all stars. I'm not saying anything like that. But what Tony Oden has done with that group of players is nothing short of amazing. And the defense as a whole, I mean, look, if the offense could even be competent the first 3 weeks, the defense has been able to keep us in games. The offense would go up in 3, down in 3. Every single week. So look at the Patriots game. The first quarter of the Patriots game, the defense was not on the field for 4 plays of the entire first quarter. They're going to be gassed. And that's when you start seeing missed tackles and people not being able to keep up with the receivers and all that stuff because they're running around all day long without a blow on the sideline. So what we've been able to do is to kind of put this collection of individuals, like Jack just said, the next man up thing. It's like we're on our 4th and 5th linebacker. We're on our 4th and 5th safeties. I think it's actually our 6th safety that we're on now with Niesman and everything else. The cornerbacks keep going down. The safeties keep going down. The linebackers keep getting shuffled around. And it just keeps it keeps remaining competitive, man. They are there to play. Look what happened after we scored our first touchdown. When we scored that touchdown, when Michael Carter got pushed in by the offensive line, the defense came out and went 3 and out. And that's what they're telling the offense. You compete and we can keep us in games. And look, we still have work to do there. We still have work to do on the defense, but man, are they coming to play, led by CJ Mosley, dude. You don't see people running head on with Derrick Henry too often. And CJ Mosley did that all friggin' day. Now, one guy I want to mention, and this was surprising to me, the guy who had the 3rd most tackles on the team was none other than Javelin Guidry, who had 10 tackles, 9 of them solo. And what he was able to do, he had 3, I think it was. It might be like one more or whatever, but he had 3 or so solo tackles on Derrick Henry. Little tiny 4
One of them saved us the entire game.
Yeah. So I was really impressed with him. I mean, he did get some passes caught on him, but nothing that was obscene or anything like that. But he had 10 tackles, 9 of them solo, and a few of them on Derrick Henry, all by his lonesome. So you got to give credit where credit was due. And I'm going to say again, that's one of Tony Oden's guys. And Javelin Guidry is not known for his tackling. He's known as somewhat soft in that regard. And dude, running into Derrick Henry all by yourself and tackling him smart, would just shoot at his ankles, wrap up his ankles, and take him down. I was really impressed, man, and I'm most impressed with the defensive backs. And like you said, Bryce Hall is just going to get better and better and better. He's a disciplined tactician of the position, willing to do the dirty work, and I couldn't love him more. So yeah, man, I'm impressed with our defense, and I can't wait to add to it next draft and see who we bolster and get Carl Lawson back and all that jazz. But man, are we playing hard.
Yeah, this defense has been so good, and you don't even know who to talk about first, whether it's the defensive line, whether it's the front 7 as a unit. Is it the corners? Is it the coaching? It's all together. They're all playing and buying into Robert Saleh's system, and it's a thing of beauty. And it's just so awesome to see that Robert Saleh gave Jeff Ulbrich his system and told him everything he needs to do, and Jeff Ulbrich is there calling the plays. And It's so awesome to see. Ali,
Yeah.
before I go deep into my thoughts about the defense, want to give your overall thoughts about what you saw from the Jets D basically destroying and making Ryan Tannehill's life a living misery.
I mean, the defense has been spectacular all year, and it's we expected that. But yesterday, what I saw is that everyone did their job. It was a group effort. The cornerbacks were doing their job, the linebackers were doing their job, the defensive line was doing their job. Um, I mean, you guys pretty much knocked it. Most of the things I was going to say about this defense, but I was going to mention that Green Bean said that there's not many people that trusted this cornerback group. I've been saying since maybe July, I was trusting this cornerback crew the entire time, just because of who the personnel and coaching staff there is right now. Because I've never seen the Jets take this type of approach at like these young guys at corners and giving them an actual shot. And these guys have gotten so much adversity and they're just swallowing it up and playing ball. They're just going out there making plays. These no-name guys that no one really talks about. They're not like the special cornerbacks of the league, but they're making plays. They're being effective. Bryce Hall coming from a blitz and getting to Ryan Tannehill. This defense is so creative, and Robert Salah and Albert are having so much fun messing with this defense and like what I said earlier a couple of weeks ago. Robert Salah is going to play chess with this defense with these young guys because he knows these young guys can ball. You saw in college these first and second year guys, they were balling out, and to see that transition onto the field now, and they're now going out there and performing. You're going against Derrick Henry, probably one of the best running backs in the NFL, and like stopping him from doing like big runs, stuff like that, is a big deal for like a rookie cornerback to like tackle like Jalen Guidry. We've been talking about him. Such an underrated dude. He is so underrated. And when he went out there, when Dunn went out, he balled out. He did what he needed to do. He made this pretty much a tackle that saved the game for the Jets. And, just to see the defense play like this, it's amazing to see because the Jets are developing their own young defense and not through free agency, not through overpaying players. The cornerbacks, I think we're paying all the cornerbacks the same amount that we're paying Tremaine Johnson. That says a lot because you're trusting these young guys to go out there and ball out, and they're doing their job. The scheme is working good, and the all gas, no break type mentality that they want to build in that at Florham Park in New York is working. It is really working. I think they've embraced the all gas, no break, that sideline in that defense because I feel like they haven't lost a beat since week one, even though the Jets haven't not won every game. There haven't been in any game, but the defense has kept them in football games. Rather than losing by 50, they lose by 30 because the defense is doing their job. So, hats off to this coaching staff because they make them ready for this game. And then the offense finally did their job and we won the football game. The collective effort of the defense is what, just excites me, with Quincy Williams coming in, making those big plays. I mean, he's the guy. He was the X factor in the fourth quarter and overtime. He made some solid tackles. He made some deflections. He was all over the field. Bryce Huff all game was everywhere. I mean, he wasn't on every sack, but you always saw him in the mix. Celebrating with the guys. If CJ Mosley got the sack, Bryce Huff was also celebrating on the corner because he was involved in that play and he was an impact. The Jets, we lost Carl Lawson, but Bryce Huff has stepped up. Bryce Huff has stepped up into that position and taking control of that. And the one thing that I want to see them improve on is those long plays that they give. It was 3rd and 21. You give a 19-yard play. Those type of things. That's what this young defense is going to take some time to develop on, and there's no excuses for that. We could have ended this game a long time ago if they made a play on those just screen passes and they just run for 20 yards to get the first down. We've seen that for years now for the New York Jets, that we just give up. It's 3rd and 21. We're going to be getting good field position, but they did do a simple dump pass. One cornerback misses the tackle, and he goes for 30 yards for a first down. So that's one thing that I did not like about the defense. But overall, the defense kept us in this football game. But, even Robert Saleh was talking in a press conference today that stuff is inexcusable. They need to work on that as a football team, because that happened twice yesterday where they got a big gain on like a 3rd and long. So, the defense looked good, man. Just 7 sacks. I think that's the first time since 2017 that they had 7 sacks. The sky's the limit for this defense, and they're definitely going to get better and better when they get more healthy.
Yeah, guys, there's so much to talk about when it comes to this Jets defense with Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbricht's unit, whether it's the defensive line, whether it's the linebackers, the corners. What's impressed me so far the most has been really the ability to just have that next man up mentality. Whoever's out there, it seems like they're playing a very good brand of football, and that's a stem of the coaching staff. That's a stem of each individual position coach really honing in on their guys, developing. As Greenbean mentioned, the DB's coach is doing such a great job. Bryce Hall is doing everything you can ask for. And some people are going to be like, yeah, well, the Jets haven't really went up against any of the top-tier passing offenses yet. Well, you can only play who's in front of you. And who the Jets have versed so far throughout the first 4 games, the defense has been phenomenal in terms of defending the pass. Not only is the Jets getting to the quarterback, but they're locking people down in the secondary. And that's what the biggest thing is. Like those 7 sacks that we see from the Jets defense, yes, the defensive line deserves a lot of credit, but without the secondary doing their job, they do not get home on some of those plays, because some of those sacks were coverage sacks. So Ryan Tannehill simply just had nowhere to go with the ball. He did not get rid of it in time, and the Jets just completely destroy him and swallow him. And if you go back and watch the film, there's so many times you see beautiful stunts and twists from this defensive line. One of them where I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was like Bryce Huff was on the edge. Quinnen Williams was next to him, and Bryce Huff immediately goes inside the left tackle, which makes the left tackle, squeeze into the left guard, and then Quinnen Williams twists around him and has a wide open angle to Ryan Tannehill, and then that forces Ryan Tannehill to move right into the arms of John Franklin Myers. So that's just like masterful defensive line coaching, and John Franklin Myers gets credit for that sack, but that's Bryce Huff and Quinnen Williams setting it up. It's a team effort. Sacks, it seems like an individual stat, but those 7 sacks came collectively from the entire unit. We have Bryce Hall, for God's sake, screaming off the edge as a cornerback out of nowhere. That was awesome to see. Bryce Huff taking a big step, filling in the shoes for Carl Lawson. CJ Mosley and Quincy Williams are 2 inside linebackers, both getting to the quarterback. Like, everybody contributed on this side of the ball, and they really kept us in the game. And it's so awesome, because we have a defensive-minded coach right now, and I said this to Jack even before the game started against the Titans. I said, it feels like the world's crumbling for the Jets. We're 0-3. It's back to the same old Jets narrative. But wouldn't it be way worse if this Jets defense was just as bad as the offense, and the defense has been really terrible? Because, the 0-3 start and the offense sucking so much really – it doesn't give us an opportunity to appreciate how well the defense has played throughout the first 3 games. But then we finally get a W. So now we can really appreciate this defense, because they have been playing such a great brand of football. The way that the cornerbacks are coached, you can just tell that the fundamentals are there. They're being taught how to defend the ball. Whenever the wide receiver gets the ball in their hand, you poke it out with your arm. Like, everything is so fundamentally sound. They're playing clean, disciplined football, and you just cannot ask for a better system in place from Robert Saleh. Like, you can just tell that these guys are buying in, and the couple of factors or the traits that I would say that really stands out in this defense, and it's like one word to describe it. It's pure violence. Like, they play with the sense of an edge. They want to kill you every time you have the ball in your hands. Like, there's this one play from CJ Mosley that I was talking to Greenbean before the stream, and this was just a masterful job from CJ Mosley. He does not get enough praise that he deserves, because without CJ Mosley, this defense is not performing the way it's been. He's the quarterback of this defense. He's lighting everybody up. He's literally calling out the plays on the opposing offense. Like, I don't know if you guys remember this play, but late in the fourth quarter, it was 3rd and 6. And the Titans went to the bunch formation on the left side, the same formation they've been doing all game long, and they just do a quick slant over the middle, and we've been getting beat over and over again. CJ Mosley saw them audible to that play. CJ Mosley audibled he checked it from man to zone. Robert Saleh said after the game, that was the first time any linebacker in our system has ever done that, where they take over and they change the play call. Like Robert Saleh says, they usually never do it. Whatever the play call is, that's the play call. But CJ Mosley took it to himself. He saw something, and he changed it from man to zone. And what happened? It resulted in a coverage sack of Quinnen Williams, because Ryan Tannehill had nowhere to go with the football because he was expecting man, and then when he snapped the ball, it wasn't man, it was zone. Nobody was open, which resulted in Quinnen Williams' sack, and the offense gets back on the field because we forced him to punt. That's the little things that CJ Mosley brings to the game, his mental ability to just understand the game of football like no other. He is a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker. He's playing like an all-pro right now, and he is just playing lights out. His speed is unbelievable. His pursuit, his angles, him stepping up to the table and taking on Derrick Henry, for God's sakes. Like, it doesn't even matter who it is. And shout out to Javelin Guidry as well. Like Greenbean mentioned, 10 total tackles. He had a game-saving tackle in overtime. Derrick Henry got the ball. He broke out to the second level. He starts going across the field, and this is an overtime, remember, and it's just around midfield. Javelin Guidry, open field tackle. If he does not make that tackle, Derrick Henry takes it at least minimum another 25, 30-plus yards, if not to the crib. And then the Titans would have been way more in field position to make that field goal to tie it, or even get in the end zone to win the game. So Javelin Guidry, wow, what an ability for a guy that's not known to be a tackler, like Greenbean mentioned, as a slot cornerback, to go out there and put your nose dirty and destroy Derrick Henry on that play. Henry even tried to stiff arm him, but you can't do that on Javelin Guidry. So we could talk about this Jets defense all you want, whether it's the beautiful stunts, the twists, the play calling on the defensive line, CJ Mosley, Quincy Williams on that linebacker crew. And shout out to the safeties, guys. We have no names back there right now. We have a safety tandem of 4 guys rotating that obviously Jets fans know who they are, but people around the league don't know who Niesman is, don't know who Wilson or, even Ashton Davis is. And they played very good football yesterday. They held their ground. They defended the deep pass. They kept everything in front of them. And you just got to give so much credit to this Jets defense. And it starts with Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich. I'm so proud of what they've done with this defense. And it's not an anomaly. It's not like it just happened one game. Like, for example, the offense looked like crap for 3 games, and the offense finally started clicking yesterday. So we're finally able to talk positively about the offense. The defense has been playing their asses off for 4 games straight, doing everything in their power to keep the Jets in a position to win a football game. And damn, it feels good that we have a defense that's exceeding everybody's expectations, especially that young Jets secondary. So, guys, we're going to transition to another topic. We're going to go live for, I think another half hour. We're going to let Jack go because he has something to do right now. And it's just going to be Greenbean and Ali for the remainder part of the stream. We have so much to get into regarding this game, and we're going to dive deep into your guys' thoughts in the chat and get into a nice Q&A, and you guys can call in and talk to Greenbean, Ali, and myself about this beautiful win. So, Jack, anything you want to say before we let you go, man?
There actually is. There's a quick little point I want to bring up because I feel like I didn't give him enough love yesterday with, my activity on Twitter, and I don't think we really mentioned him that much tonight. But the return of Jameson Crowder was so important because I will admit it. I will eat my words. I was definitely part of the let's trade Jameson, get max value. We got Elijah Moore. We got Mims. Thought Mims would be playing before the season started. We got Corey Davis. We got Keelan Cole as the 4. We'll be set. Let's get max value for Crowder. Crowder comes back for his first game since 2020 and catches 7 passes for 61 yards and gets in the end zone. So talk about security blanket. He was clearly the spark that our offense was missing yesterday. And obviously Corey Davis had a good day overall, a great day overall after a slow start. Keelan Cole had some highlight plays, but Jameson Crowder led the team in receptions with 7. And like I said, 61 yards and a touchdown, total security blanket for Zach. So I just wanted to show Jameson some love. I saw him getting some love in the chat. It made me thinking, we need to show Jameson some love. He deserves it. Realistically, he's been our best offensive player for the past few years, if we want to be real with ourselves. So nothing but love for Jameson Crowder. I'd like to see him stick around. And with that being said, have a great rest of the stream, guys. Love you all. Thank you for having me on, Rich. And until next time, it's always a pleasure. Catch you guys later.
Peace out, Jack.
Later, Jack.
Peace.
So next thing I want to get into, guys, off the top of your head, we'll start off with you. Green Bean, and you guys in the chat, please let us know in the chat what you guys think. Who are the 3 stars of the game in your eyes? There's a lot of people you can think of. There's a lot. We're talking players here. So everybody in the chat, give us your 3 stars of the game, how we won this game, who are the 3 X factors that really changed the impact of this. So Green Bean, starting off with you, some 3 stars of the game.
Yeah, I think some of it'll be obvious, but I think you really can't get out of this without pointing out how Zach Wilson took over the game and finally seemed comfortable. Let's not forget, going into the game, he was the most sacked quarterback in the league. He was second in pressures and first in hurries and all this sort of stuff. In addition to that, he was, the Jets were first in dropped passes, and he was able to come in, overcome some, early drops and settle down and really take the game over, man. I don't think that can be understated. It doesn't mean I'm saying rookie of the year. I'm just saying it's nice to see the progression, and I think he's definitely one of the stars of the game, and it's nice to see. On the defensive side of the ball, again, an obvious one. I don't think that we get out of this one alive without C.J. Mosley. Even on the plays where he wasn't making the tackles, I think it's his inspiration. It's his leading by example that gets everybody else fired up. I don't think we get out of it without C.J. Mosley and the way that he played. And like you said on that audible, even better, man. I mean, he's known as being a cerebral player. A lot of his positives are based in his football intelligence. Obviously, he has the football skills and all that, but it's how smart he is, knowing where to be on the field. That is really a large part of why he is so good at his position. And I think Jack just brought him up. But I think, even though Corey Davis had a bigger day and Keelan Cole even had a little bit bigger of a day as far as the stat sheet goes, but I think Jameson Crowder is the guy that changed the offense. He's intelligent too, man. He's so good. He knows where to be, how to get open. He's also an amazing outlet for a quarterback that's running. He tends to be the guy that when the quarterback gets into some trouble and rolls out and has to scramble a bit, he's the guy. He knows where to be. He knows how to be an outlet for his quarterback. And I was so glad to see him get into the game. He had that early drop. I got nervous that it was a friggin' disease on the Jets right now. When Crowder starts dropping passes, I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe it. But that was just one little anomaly. And Crowder came in, man. And look, I wasn't one of the guys that wanted to trade Crowder. In the event we did, I understood it. But I was like, why do we want to continue to just put so much pressure on so many young guys? We already have enough. We already have 7 rookies starting. Like, why do this to Elijah Moore? And we saw it, man. Elijah Moore had some struggles. And you don't want to necessarily do that with every guy on the team. And I think Crowder being there while Elijah Moore comes up to speed and all that, it's only going to benefit us. And look, we see, man, if anybody gets injured, it's the Jets. And now when we get injured, we didn't have the likes of Chris Hogan and Dante Moncrief coming in. And we had guys like Elijah Moore on the back burner, Denzel Mims, Keelan Cole, Berrios, and Jameson Crowder was able to come in. So I think, yeah, man, I think his presence, even though some guys had a little bit better stats numerically, I think that his impact on the game can't be understated.
Awesome. So your 3 stars was Zach, CJ, and Crowder?
That's it.
Love it. Ali, who are your 3 stars of the game? I think you're muted, Ali.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I was going to say Jameson Crowder. I was going to say Zach Wilson. I was going to say C.J. Mosley. But, but now that I'm thinking about it more, I think there's other guys that that were not on the field yesterday, we wouldn't have won that game. And that's one of them is Bryce Huff. He's one guy that was consistently getting to the quarterback. He was consistently winning his battles every play. He was, even though he didn't get the sacks the entire time, he was involved in pressuring Tannehill. You know for a fact that Tannehill, when he was back there, he was looking for Bryce Huff and where he was coming from. Because Bryce Huff was all over the field and he was making plays and being involved in that defense. So I think Bryce Huff deserves the name for this week because he just balled out completely this week. And, he kind of took away from, having those big names, Carl Lawson on that field. He's like, I'm going to make my own name today. And he really did. And then Quincy Williams. He's a guy who came in the fourth quarter and overtime and balled out. He was the guy that was making plays, the tackle for loss. He showed some energy. I feel like every time in the fourth quarter, I was always seeing him around the ball carrier. He was always making a play. He was always making a tackle. I believe he ended up with the most tackles in the game. I think he had 12 total tackles, a sack. He had 2 tackle for losses, a pass deflection, and he was just all over the field. He was doing what he needs to do, and what a pickup from Joe Douglas, man. That's a huge pickup for a guy that's, you picked it up from Jacksonville, and he just blew up the game. He was an X factor of this football game, and that's why the Jets have a win. We have a win on the board because these young guys are stepping up, and Quincy Williams was one of those guys that stepped up this time around. And then obviously you got to point out Zach Wilson. We wouldn't have won this game if Zach Wilson didn't do what Zach Wilson is known for and why he was brought in to do. Zach Wilson made those off-scheduling plays. He kept, he made some nice throws in the end when we needed those big throws. Obviously, there was a lot of ways that he could have ended it earlier, but if there was no Zach Wilson, this would be no Jets W. It's just that simple. That throw to Corey Davis in the end zone, that's all him. Him fumbling the ball, but still finding Jameson Crowder, that's all Zach Wilson. Those type of plays is the reason he was selected second overall. And for the first time, we actually saw him display his talents. Yeah, week 1, he had some good plays in the second half, but he played a full football game and was consistent. He had a rough first quarter, but from there, it was all Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson took over the football game. He's the reason the Jets have a win. The defense, we always say that defense always steps up for the New York Jets. Zach Wilson stepped up this time, and a quarterback on offense stepped up, a rookie quarterback against all the adversity. We had no idea we were going to win this football game, and no one thought the Jets were going to beat the Tennessee Titans yesterday. And Zach Wilson came out and was like, screw you guys, screw the adversity, screw all the haters today, and I'm going to go win a football game today because I know I can. I know this team is better than what people think they are, and they just showed it yesterday. So hats off to those 3 guys, but, that was a good win for the Jets.
Screw the haters indeed, Ali. Let them know. Zach Wilson came out there and beat the Tennessee Titans, a team that is a playoff team. I don't give a damn who was injured for the Tennessee Titans. You play who's in front of you. This is an injured, riddled league. Everybody's battling injuries. The best teams are the ones that have the next man up mentality, so I don't want to hear it. Love the 3 stars. So one of my 3 stars is a player that we did not mention once in this stream. Not once. Very quiet, very good game. And this is a pretty big deal. And this is a very important player for the Jets team now and the future. Anybody have any guesses?
Elijah
Quinnen.
Vera-Tucker.
Ali's got it. Elijah Vera-Tucker.
All right.
When you don't talk about an offensive lineman, that is usually a very good thing. Elijah Vera-Tucker graded out, I think, a 92 passer rating at that left guard spot, giving up 0 touches, 0 sacks, anything. And then if you want to go to Twitter and if you look up Connor Rogers, I quote tweeted him. Remember that Braxton Berrios end around, that very creative play where he picked up 8 yards? Well, Elijah Vera-Tucker on that play, he pulled out and he literally blocked 4 different people. Like, Elijah Vera-Tucker showed up. And why were us as a fan base so excited that we traded up for Elijah Vera-Tucker? Number 1, because we're just enamored by the idea of pairing him up with Mekhi Becton. Well, unfortunately, Mekhi Becton's out right now, and I really think the run game is feeling that right now. I think the run game is not looking that good because we're missing out on Mekhi Becton, but that's a story for another day. Elijah Vera-Tucker, it was so important for him to really have a bounce-back game because throughout the first 3 weeks, he didn't look terrible. He didn't look really good. It was in the middle. He had some mishaps. He had some, bad penalties. But this game was just a perfectly clean tape. And it's a really big thing because we know that this Jets offensive line interior-wise is a mess outside of AVT. Greg Van Roten, he's the worst offensive lineman on the Jets. He's one of the worst right guards in all of football. Connor McGovern, he had a solid game yesterday, but he's not the best center in the world. We know that the interior is the biggest issue. So for Elijah Vera Tucker to step up and really hold that ground on that left guard spot is really, really vital. And also shout out to Morgan Moses and George Fant because they did very well in pass protection throughout these entire games. So Elijah Vera Tucker is the first star because I feel like he's not getting enough love because it's hard to really tell when an offensive lineman does well because if you don't see them, getting penalties, you don't see them giving up sacks, if you don't see them giving up tackles for losses, usually a good thing. If you want to go look at Elijah Vera Tucker's grades and stats, I recommend you do that. Very good sign from our first round pick last week. Now, the next star has to be Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall is emerging as a top corner in the NFL. I was so happy he fell to us last year in the 2020 draft in the 5th round. I understood his story. He was a 2nd-round talent, and his ankle absolutely got destroyed in college, which resulted him to fall to the 5th round because he was not going to be available to start off his rookie season. Joe Douglas took a flyer on him. He understood the situation. He said, okay, this is a guy that is not going to be able to play for the first half of the season as a rookie, but I trust the long-term thinking. And that's exactly what Joe Douglas did. He brought him in, and Bryce Hall is establishing himself as a very good cornerback in this league. Not only is he looking good in coverage and man-to-man coverage, zone coverage, but he's a darn good tackler. He had a couple open field tackles against Derrick Henry, and we know what happens when Derrick Henry usually gets into the second level, what he does to defensive backs. There's a whole highlight reel, and he did not do that to one of our guys. So that's a pretty good thing. I know that if you look at Derrick Henry's numbers, he had 177 yards of total offense. That's their entire offense, especially with Julio and A.J. Brown out. I love our game plan against Derrick Henry, and I think we contained him to the best of our abilities. He's destined to have 3 or 4 15-plus 20-yard runs. That was just inevitable. But Bryce Hall, what he's showing me, his ability to defend the pass, there were so many times where they targeted Bryce Hall down the field, and his timing on just getting those pass deflections, getting his instinctual ability to read the wide receiver's eyes and read their hands on when to really attack the football, when to let go of the jersey to not get a foul call, and when to be disciplined, when to be aggressive. He just looks like a guy that's only going to get better and better as his career goes on, and that's such a good sign for the Jets secondary because we know going into the season, the cornerback room was a little skeptical, and we thought that it's a young team or a young secondary that can grow for the future. Bryce Hall looks like the future for that quarterback spot, especially on that outside. I think that he is establishing himself as a true NFL starter in this league. And listen, it's not that common where you get a 5th-round pick proving to be an NFL caliber starter in year number 2. So shout out to Bryce Hall. Shout out to the coaching staff because he's looking really good so far. And not even only to mention, he had a half a sack. He's flying off the edge with those creative cornerback blitzes. He's not just a corner where he's just good at pass protection. He's getting sacks. He's getting open field tackles against Derrick Henry, and he's locking down wide receivers. Now, I don't think this is going to continue. I think his good play is going to continue, but there's still going to be some times where Bryce Hall will get beat. There's going to be some times that Bryce Hall gets a pass interference. He's going to get holding. That's part of the flow of learning in this league, especially when he goes up against top-tier wide receiver talent. Calvin Ridley in London is going to be a big test because he's one of the best route runners in the NFL. And then the 3rd star has to be Zach Wilson. I cannot have 3 stars of the game and not mention him. Like I said, I believe that he single-handedly, elevated this offense. That touchdown to Corey Davis, you guys heard me talk about it already. Are you kidding me? He's a damn point guard out there. He literally told Corey Davis what to do, and he throws a 60-yard bomb down the field. The composure to deal with the pressure, to deal with the adversity that he went through, the mental ability to just push through it and not waver throughout the first 3 games, having 7 interceptions, coming off 4-pick game against Belichick, 2-pick game against Denver, 0 touchdown passes since week 1. He goes out there and in the 4th quarter just electrifies his offense. He lights the entire stadium on fire. Jets fans in MetLife Stadium, I'm jealous because I wish I was at that game. Greeby, and we picked the wrong game to go to. It was just an absolute nightmare what we witnessed in week 2 and Ali was there too. I forgot. But what Zach Wilson did was elevating this entire offense. And you got to give credit to the offensive line because they're the ones that protected him. You got to give credit to the wide receivers because they're the ones that finally caught the damn football because that was a big problem earlier in the season. Zach Wilson was putting it on the money. drop. We saw that stat going into this game where his completion percentage so far this year is 55%. But if you skew in his adjusted completion percentage when you factor in the drops, it would have been 70%. So it's refreshing to see that even though there were some drops earlier on in the game from Corey Davis and Jameson Crowder, when it mattered the most, Corey Davis came through, Keelan Cole came through, Jameson Crowder came through, Michael Carter had some decent runs. He had a touchdown of his own, and Zach Wilson elevated this offense, and he proved why he was the second overall pick. And that's what I want to see from him this game, because this was the first time Zach Wilson was not going up against a top-tier defense where I'm like, okay, Zach, this is your opportunity to show the rest of the NFL why you went second overall, why you are looked at as a top-tier arm talent in the league. I want to see a couple plays where you light the league on fire and everybody around the league is talking about, whoa, did you see that Zach Wilson play? Because I know it's in him. And I know that he showed flashes of it in the preseason. He showed flashes of it in training camp when we saw him live. He showed flashes of it even week 1, but it never really happened yet. And damn, it happened. And that is so refreshing for Zach Wilson. This is something he's going to build upon. I'm excited to see what he can do when Elijah Moore comes back with Jameson Crowder. I think that Elijah Moore, I still have a lot of hope in him. I think that he's an explosive play waiting to happen. Like, listen, Zach Wilson, we saw the first time what he can do when he can scramble out of the pocket. Elijah Moore is going to be his best friend when it's those type of plays. When the play breaks down, Elijah Moore, I feel like, is going to be his favorite target to go to because he's the perfect gadget, speedy guy to switch directions in the middle of the route and go the opposite direction than Zach Wilson's directing him, and he's going to throw it across his body 6 yards down the field. I mean, man, that was fun to watch. So that was our 3 stars. My 3 stars was Elijah Vera Tucker, it was Bryce Hall, and Zach Wilson, our year 2 cornerback, our rookie left guard, and our rookie quarterback. How about that, guys? We got 3 young men stepping up for this New York Jets team. So to finish off the stream, we're going to open this up to a Jets Q&A. So you guys in the chat, please let us know what you want us to talk about, our takeaways about a specific player, the coaching staff, anything you want us to talk about. Feel free to comment in the chat, and I'll try to get to as many as possible. What do you think about this, Green Bean? Michael Carter should be a full-time starter. What's your thoughts about, I'm assuming he's talking about the running back. What's your thoughts on Mike Carter?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things I said in the podcast this week on, for my own podcast. I said that it was nice to see, even though, it wasn't some taking over of the game or anything like that, but he got very important yards when we needed him to get them. And I was happy to see Michael Carter receive the lion's share of the running back reps. Look, we gave some time to Coleman, and he did okay, but I'd like to see him phased out and really start to make Michael Carter the premier running back, for lack of a better term. I also want to see LaMichael Pirine get into the mix. I think, I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. But as long as Michael Carter is our feature back, receiving more carries than everybody else, I think we're on the right path. And it was good to see, man. Look what he was able to do when we needed him to do it. It wasn't he only got 13 carries, I think it was. But when we needed him to get the yards, to get the touchdown, all that, he was able to do it. And I have really high hopes for him. I don't think he'll ever be Barry Sanders or something like that, but he's a very good runner. The thing I like about him is he always keeps his legs chopping. And that's something that you don't see in everybody anymore. It's amazing. You teach 9-year-olds to do that. But Michael Carter does that, and it's one of my favorite things to see on running backs. So, yeah, man, I'm a big fan of him, and I like to see him continue to get more carries than everybody else.
Yeah, I think he's proved to be the best running back, and he deserves the boatload of carries going forward. I agree with everything you're saying there. Talk about Quincy Williams going off at linebacker. This is such a great story. It really is, that we went out there and got Quinnen Williams' older brother. And this was the first time in NFL history where in the same game we had a brother duo, both recording a sack. He plays with a different violence to him, man. His pursuit, him blowing up screens, his energy, everything about Quincy Williams was just unbelievable. And you got to talk about Joe Douglas right now. Obviously, he has to be held accountable for his mishaps. There's just a lot of things that he's done well, a lot of things he's not done well so far as a GM. The one thing you could say he's done well so far as a GM is his waiver wire pickups. He's picked up John Franklin Myers. And we all want this man to be extended lifetime as a Jet. John Franklin Myers looks like a stud. He also picked up Braxton Berrios in the waiver wire. Braxton Berrios looks like speaking of Berrios, he had a lot of good special teams returns on the punt return and kick returns. And he shows up so far this season. He was the leading Jets receiver going into this game. With all the injuries we faced, Braxton Berrios has been very good. And Ty Johnson's been looking solid. We know that he's a good rotational back. And then now Quincy Williams, add him to the list of waiver wire picks from Joe Douglas. That's just really not easy to do when you're able to go out there and pick up quality players in the waiver wire. So you see any questions, Ali, in the chat? Anybody in the chat, feel free to send any questions that you want us to talk about. I see everyone.
I saw one about Denzel Mims.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about that?
I mean, there's not much to talk about. I mean,
he had 10 snaps, 0 targets.
We'll see, man. I don't know. That situation's interesting. I don't know, like, if he's just not involved with the offense right now, or like, I mean, he had some good blocks yesterday that I saw, but I think he's a process. I think that's what it is. I think they just like the other guys better because, like, look, Keelan Cole balled out. Keelan Cole balled out yesterday, and I like Keelan Cole much better than Denzel Mims just because of the experience wise. And I've always liked Keelan Cole when he was in Jacksonville. I always liked his talent, and he balled out, and I think he's just a better receiver right now over Denzel Mims, and he deserves that. He deserves that. And Mims did miss a lot of time, so it's a weird situation for sure.
Yeah.
But that he's not getting even targets, and like getting the ball or at least a chance. But yeah, it's 100% like, come on, I want to see Mims out there because he is our second round pick from last year. Why is he in the dog pound? Why is he not out there playing? Because if Elijah Moore comes possibly back, there's a chance that Denzel Mims is inactive again. It might be the story again, right back to where it all started. So, it's something to keep an eye on for the New York Jets because I really like Denzel Mims. I even met Denzel Mims last year for an event, and he's an awesome dude. But I don't know. I mean, it's a really interesting situation, honestly.
It's an interesting situation, and it's honestly a good situation that we're in, that we have so much wide receiver depth. And we saw that. Like, our top 3 receivers balled out yesterday. Like, it's not like say Keelan Cole had a crappy game, then we're like, okay, give Denzel Mims all the targets. Keelan Cole's trash. That wasn't the fact. I mean, Keelan Cole looked really good, and you can see why it's really hard for Denzel to get some time. And trust me, I'm one of the biggest Denzel Mims fans there is. I want him to go out there and get an opportunity to work as much as anybody else. Robert Saleh talked to the media today on the Michael Kay show, and without even being asked about Mims, he brought him up about the game, and he said, yeah, we're excited about Denzel. We think he's really going to be contributing with his team as the season progresses. So be patient with him. His opportunity is going to come, and I feel like when he gets the opportunity, he's going to show up. Green Bean, what are your thoughts about the play calling? Talk about more Mike LaFleur, because Mike LaFleur was getting a lot of heat throughout the first 3 weeks because the Jets offense scored 20 points. So what was your thoughts about Mike LaFleur in yesterday's game? And it looks like Green Bean's frozen. Green Bean, you there?
I think he's frozen.
Uh-oh. Green Bean, you there, man? Green Bean.
Oh, he's doing so well.
Green Bean. Look at him, guys. Look how awesome he looks.
He was doing so well.
I know. He had really good quality. All right, well, my thoughts about the play calling. Mike LaFleur deserves a lot of credit. The offense looked pretty darn good yesterday, and I think Zach Wilson's improvisation helped that out a little bit. It wasn't a perfect game for Mike LaFleur. There's a lot of play calls where I was head scratching, but he stepped up, and it's a developing year for not only Zach Wilson, but it's also a developing year for Mike LaFleur. So it's good to see him taking steps forward as a play caller. He needs to learn situational football. He needs to learn when to call the right plays, when to call run, when to call play action, when to keep going to the passing game downfield, when to take a shot. And I feel like he took a big step forward. Green Bean's back. Green Bean, we missed you.
Hey, back.
I almost made it, man. I almost made it through a whole stream without having any
Almost,
issues.
but it's
Yeah.
okay. We got you back.
Yeah.
We got a donation real quick to get to. If anyone thinks this team is the same old Jets after looking at that locker room after the game, they are delusional. Woo! What a take.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is my favorite donation I've ever got. What are your
I
thoughts
agree.
about this, Green Bean?
I think he's absolutely right. I mean, look, we're constructing this team in a very deliberate way. I mean, look, we've chosen to start 7 rookies. We've chosen to start a rookie quarterback with a rookie head coach. We're doing things completely different. We're jettisoning and uprooting all the me players, all the problem diva types. We're pulling all those out and we're replacing them with guys with high character. What is the benefit of high character? When things go wrong, they keep working and trying to move forward. That's not a very Jets-like trait. We usually have a bunch of guys, as soon as things go bad, they start going into self-preservation mode. They stop playing hard. They hurt their finger and they go on injured reserve for 4, 5, 8 weeks. Like, that's what we're used to seeing. Right now, we're not seeing that. We're seeing guys who are going to put in the work to try to right this ship. And I think it's evident. I mean, look, they're all young. They're all new. We're going to see these bumps. We're going to see sloppy play. That's all to be expected. But where it's different is we're going to see these guys actually do the work to push through it. And I think that's from the top down, from Joe Douglas to Saleh to Zach Wilson to the offensive line. Like, I think I see it all over the place. And C.J. Mosley coming back after 2 years and doing what he's doing speaks volumes in that exact regard. So I think, yeah, man, I think he's nailing it. Broder, that's a great point.
We got another donation. That long completion where Cole drove the ball falling down instead of running it in for the touchdown. To me, that showed just how much they were pressing. Afraid to drop it. 8 minutes to overtime. Makes a sweat toe drag like nothing. Sweet toe drag like it's nothing. Relaxed. I agree, Nose Kills. I appreciate the donation. Very generous of you. Is that euros? I think it is. But I don't know. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Ali, what's your thoughts of Nose Kills? Thoughts of the long completion to Keelan Cole in overtime?
Look, I'll talk about that, but in that explanation, I'm gonna talk about the game plan of this entire team, especially on offense. You know, for the first time, I saw a full game plan from the coaching staff on offense and defense. I think they had a plan in mind and they executed it finally for the first time this season, especially LaFleur. LaFleur has been getting heated on for the last 3 weeks, but for the first time, everything started clicking yesterday. The passing was there, the great throws, the great catches by Keelan Cole, perfectly placed ball. All these little things were shaping up. For the defensive side of the ball, their plan was to try to contain Derrick Henry a little bit and make Ryan Tannehill throw. And that's what they made him do. And that's how the Jets won, because they made Ryan Tannehill throw the football. And that's how they know that's their strength. They know Derrick Henry won't be stopped for the full game. But if they can make Ryan Tannehill throw and make the Tennessee Titans be scared to run the ball against the Jets defense, they'll win this football game. And they did that. And, that's the game plan that Robert Saleh came up with, LaFleur, Ulbrich, and they succeeded for the first time this season. And that's why we won this football game. And that's how we're going to win football games in the future, because this is a game, is a set stone game for the future and beyond. This is what they're going to be looking at to get better each and every week. Offense, those plays are going to keep coming, man. These toe drag plays, these nice long 50-yard bombs of Corey Davis, Jameson Crowder, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, hopefully, or maybe a tight end in the future. All these little things are going to be progressing with this team. You're going to see it because you have a quarterback that can do that. You have a coaching staff that can make it happen. And for the first time yesterday, I saw them execute their game plan, have an actual game plan that works, and keep succeeding every play. They're moving the chains. They were doing whatever they can to move the football down. And to see how they played in the fourth quarter and overtime for this young of a team is special to watch. Especially against the Tennessee Titans. I don't care if they're not the greatest defense in the world. they are a playoff team. They were in the playoffs. This is a playoff team that you just beat. I don't care if they're out. We got a lot of injuries too. They got a lot of injuries too. But you just beat a playoff team. So, that's something that you should be proud of, especially being the youngest team in the NFL. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot more plays like that. You're going to see some nice toe drags, hopefully some nice catches in the end zone. And the Jets are going to get better and better.
Great preach right there from Ali. And shout out to Nose Kills again from the donation. I appreciate that a ton. Now, to finish off the stream, we're just going to go and take a trip down memory lane to yesterday's beautiful win and look at some photos. Here's our awesome quarterback, Zach Wilson. Let's just go by it. Here's Bryce Hall. Free advertisement. Franklin Myers getting the sack. This is just awesome. Beautiful pictures as well. Shout out to the Jets. They have great, great people in charge of the media. Look at this play. Bryce Hall getting his hand on the ball. There's no shot you're bringing that in. Great job, Bryce Hall. Look at CJ. Look at this green bean. CJ taking the charge on. I am shutting down Derrick Henry. I mean, they didn't shut down Derrick Henry, but I like the.
Well, you know what, Richie? Like you were saying earlier, one of my biggest fears going into this game is that a whole bunch of those Derrick Henry highlight reel plays were going to come out of it.
Yes,
taking one of our defensive backs by the chest and launching an 8-yard. I was nervous because we're good like that. We're good for providing the NFL with clips that are just embarrassing to us, funny for everybody else. So we got out of it without any of that stuff, man. We played a nice, sound game. Derrick Henry got a little over $150. Hey, man, it is what it is. And he could have had 250 if we didn't play as well as we did, man. Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry. But we didn't get any of those laughing tracks, so I'm good.
Oh, absolutely. And you got to realize the volume of Derrick Henry. He got the ball 33 times. They gave him the ball. He's going to get yards if you do that. There were so many times where we stuffed him the line of scrimmage where I was so proud. He's going to have at least 5 carries where he gets 10, 15 yards. I mean, he's literally the best running back in football. I love the game plan from the Jets defense and how they contained him to the best of their abilities. Here's the second picture of that same play, bringing him down. 3 people pursuing Derrick Henry. There's Mike Carter. There's the future running back of the team. There he is again, getting his first touchdown of his little career. I love Mike Carter, man. His personality is awesome. His personality in the press conferences, love that from Mike Carter. Jameson Crowder, I think the unsung hero of the offense. Welcome back, Jameson Crowder. The offense did miss you a ton. Here's Mike Carter smiling again after getting his first touchdown. You love that cheese right there from the Rook. And how about the big man up front? Morgan Moses. We don't really talk about this guy, even though he's a Long Island native like me. Sorry, Greg, you are not playing like we need you to play. But Morgan Moses, how about him stepping up big time at that right tackle spot? There's Zach Wilson. And shout out to Tyler Kroft. Tyler Kroft did some good things yesterday in the blocking wise. And that touchdown pass to Corey Davis, he clipped that defensive end just enough to give Zach Wilson time to launch that ball 60 yards down the field. So Tyler Kroft, I don't even think he had a reception, but he did good in blocking. Braxton Berrios, the Honey Nut, he had a great end around. The secondary, we got Niesman, Jamie and Sherwood. This is, I think, a special teams picture. There's McGovern hugging Mike Carter. It's just, I love seeing these pictures, man. It just brings us back to all the moments that we actually won a damn football game. I think that's Shepard. And there's Bryce Huff embarrassing Taylor Lewan the entire game. Taylor Lewan, woo-wee, he's not looking too good anymore. And there's Elijah Vera Tucker I just passed. Mauling people. Get out of my way. Shepard again. Crowder getting his first touchdown. I love all these Carter, sorry. There's Zach. Bryce Huff. Look at the energy. Bryce Huff bringing the energy. So, yeah, obviously there's a lot of photos. We're not going to get to every single one of them. But look at the energy from Bryce Huff, guys. Look at that energy. So, yeah, I want to finish off with that note, looking through all the photos. That's going to do it for this stream, guys. I appreciate all the support in the chat, all the love, all the hate. It means a lot to the channel. Ali and Green Bean, I appreciate you guys as always coming on, taking time out of your day to talk Jets on Jets Media. It means a lot. To finish off the stream, do you guys want to give your final thoughts of this Jets team as a whole? Ali, starting with you.
Yeah, man. Finally, we've had an exciting Sunday for New York Jets football. It was refreshing to watch to see a team finish the full football game and with fight and anger and willing to win a football game, and to see those young guys get their first win of in their NFL career is awesome to watch. And for especially for the season, it just gets a better tone for the entire season for us, and we have more hope now heading into Atlanta. I would play Atlanta and London. So yeah, I mean, it was awesome spending time with you guys. I have been actually posting on my YouTube channel now. So if you guys want to subscribe, it's official Loyal NY Jet fans. I'm going to be posting a lot this week.
It's linked down
and for
below in the
following
description.
weeks. And I will be joining Green Bean on Thursday, I believe, on his channel. So definitely tune in for that. We're going to be talking about, obviously, the Falcons game, most likely. So hopefully see you guys there, and have a nice night, guys.
Awesome. Green Bean?
That's right. I was going to announce the same thing. So on the Thursday thick of it this week, 9 p.m., Ali is our distinguished guest. I cannot be more excited to get into it with you, buddy. It's going to be fun. And yeah, man, guys, enjoy this. Everybody trying to find reasons why it wasn't this. Dude, it's our first win in a long time that's worth anything. We have the youngest team in the NFL, like we've been saying. Give it a second. Enjoy it, Jets fans. You don't have to be miserable. It's not a requisite. You don't have to be unhappy. So with all that said, I'm really looking forward to more progression, and let's have a good season, man. Our team was competitive, and it was great. Don't forget, you can follow me on Green Bean Jets Fan on YouTube, and I'll be talking to you guys all week. Richie, thank you. I always love being on here with you, man.
It's always a pleasure to have you on here as well. Shout out to everybody in the chat for staying tuned, giving us awesome Jets debates in the chat, awesome, great interaction with us, asking us questions. You guys in the chat are awesome. It would mean a lot if you guys smash that like button if you did not already before we end the stream, and also make sure you subscribe to Ali and Green Bean and Jack. That's down below in the description. I appreciate each and every one of you guys staying loyal to Jets Media. We got a victory, guys. Soak it in. Enjoy this week of everybody talking about the Jets. Everybody talking about Zach Wilson looking great. The defense looking great. Robert Saleh looking great. We're heading across the pond. We're going to London. Hopefully we can show up big time. Expect a lot of content previewing that game on Jets Media. Stay tuned for more content. That does it for this one. I love you guys. Let's go Jets. We back, baby. Yes, we are